Alright guys, now let's take a look at our fats, okay? Fats are the last part of our macronutrient cycle, yet they're still really important. You gotta take them into consideration, okay? Again, with fats, you still have two types. You have your saturated and unsaturated. Pretty much with all of our macronutrients, there are two types. There's faster digesting, slower digesting. Saturated fats are what are gonna be considered the faster digesting of the fats, and then unsaturated are going to be the slower digesting, okay? So what we want to consider is the slower it digests, the better it is for you throughout the day, because you have more of a chance to turn that energy into muscle and burn it up. The faster it's getting put into your system, the less time you have to actually use it, the more time it's going to be stored as fat, okay? There's also a big misconception that fatty foods or fats are bad for you. That's not necessarily the case. It's just they have more calories per serving and per amount. Okay, so let's take a look at our first of some unsaturated fats. All right, a good example of unsaturated is peanut butter. The thing about peanut butter though is you want, again, a certain type of peanut butter. Like with the oatmeal, there's different brands that add a couple additives. They're going to take away from its beneficialness. Okay, so if you look right here, we have Smucker's or whatever the brand, as long as it's natural. You see the natural peanut butter? A good way to tell if it's natural is at the top when you first buy the jar, there's going to be a layer of oil, okay? And then at the bottom you're going to have the rest of the butter. The only problem with that is it will be a little nasty at first. You mix it up, you got your natural peanut butter. I love this especially for in the morning or right before I go train. It gives me some energy on a whole wheat bagel or whatever not, to give me that energy to make it through practice or training or lifting. And then at the end you throw in some jelly in there so you have some immediate energy. You have your fats, so it's going to give you some more energy throughout the day. And then you have a little bit of protein between the fat. There's some protein in here. You got about 8 grams per serving. And then the whole wheat bagel, you still have some grams per serving of protein. So it's going to be beneficial in all macronutrient levels. All right, let's take a look at the next thing. Now instead of peanut butter, we have nuts in general. You really want to stay... Peanuts are probably the worst basic nut just because they're a little bit more high content saturated fat. What you really want to look at is you got almonds in here, you got cashews, and then you also want to look at walnuts. Those are a little bit more beneficial for you, a little bit more unsaturated fats, a little bit longer, a little bit more complex, okay?
And action.
All right, let's take a look now at the fat section of the macronutrients. Let's start that over with 2
All right,
seconds.
go.
Alright guys, let's take a look at fats now. Alright, this is the last piece of the macronutrient puzzle. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with unsaturated fats. Alright, again, what happens with macronutrients, you usually have two different types, faster digesting, slower digesting. Fats, the same thing. One's called unsaturated, which is the complex, slower digesting version, and then you have your saturated, which is the simple, faster digesting. Okay, let's start with olive oil. Olive oil, used for almost any kind of cooking. It's a great supplement or supplementing I like to use in the cooking because you can add a little flavor, add a little bit of energy, add a little bit of calories to it if needed, and it's a little bit of flavoring that makes things not so boring, okay? It changes up the pace. Now we also got some peanut butter. What happens with peanut butter is, again, it's unsaturated fats that's really heavy involved in this one, and this is great to throw in a sandwich throughout the day. I like this before a workout, get some energy going, add a little bit more complex, long-lasting energy throughout an entire workout. Even got some protein in there. The key thing to remember with peanut butter especially is that you want to look for natural, okay? Same thing what happens with oatmeal. There's two different types. One's a little bit more simple. With peanut butter, you have the same thing. If you go for like Jiffy brand or any of the brands that are going to be a little bit more added with preservatives, it's going to make it a little bit more simple, a little bit more faster digesting, okay? So again, you want to stay away from the simple digesting. You want to look for something that's natural. It's going to say natural right on it. And it's even going to have a little bit of oil at the top. That's how you can tell. All right, let's take a look at something a little bit similar. You got nuts, okay? You got a lot of peanuts. People love peanuts or almonds or whatnot. But what you really want to focus on that's going to be healthy for you, that I love especially too, you got your almonds, cashews, and walnuts, okay? Even peanuts can go in there, but they're a little bit that you want to shy away from just because there's a lot of sodium in that, okay? Take a step into the next thing, cheese, all right? Everybody pretty much uses cheese in one way, shape, or form. It's dairy. It can be considered as protein as well because there's some protein in here, but really you want to look at it as fats, okay? This is a little bit more higher content saturated fats. I'm not saying don't use it and just be a little bit more sparse with it, a little bit more scarce. Don't use it as much or as heavy. And the thing you want to stay away from is the American processed cheese, okay? When you go with something like cheddar or mozzarella, or go with provolone, Swiss cheese even, you get maybe alpine lace, which means lesser fat content. It's going to be better off for you. Alright guys, now let's take a look at avocados, okay? This is the last piece of fats that I really like to incorporate in my diet. Alright, what's great about avocados is they're unsaturated fat. They're really good for your skin. They have a lot of micronutrients as well, a lot of vitamins, minerals. They're going to really help you out with your daily digestive system. Just all around, they're beneficial for your body, okay? So the key thing about avocados, again, unsaturated fats, very minimal saturated fats. They're going to be long-lasting energy. It helps give a change of pace too to daily intake. A lot of the times when you get into a routine, if I'm training for a fight or someone that's training for something, they're trying to go on a diet, what happens is you usually start to stick to foods that are very similar, have the same kind of intake going in and day out. Avocado is a nice way to change up the pace, add a little different texture, kind of add some new flavor going on in there. Alright, so again, got the avocados unsaturated, healthy for you, great for your skin, got a lot of micronutrients, macronutrients, and all around good for your digestive system, and they add some flavor into your diet.